empty, so that's me ready to explore this massive, massive city. I've been to bigger cities, but for some reason this one just feels really, really big. I don't know why. Maybe it just looks that way on the map I looked at. So I'm going to go around, see what interesting stuff I can find. When I done a brief look around the other day, well, yesterday I suppose, when I done a brief look around, I saw one or two things I thought were interesting, but I in no way scratched the surface of this place, so let's hope I manage to see most things. I'll probably somehow manage to miss something, but you know what it's like. I think we may have a winner. That looks like a statue to me. There we go, good start. Right, my eyes were not deceiving me. It is a statue. Okay, who have we got here then? Salim Musa Salaria. Alright. Yeah, I don't know too much about this guy, apart from the fact he looks cool. But, you know, he must have done something pretty impressive to get a statue like that, right? So what I do know about this guy is that he was about 60 odd, early 60s, mid 60s, something like that. And what did he do? Did he put his feet up, drink himself some nice hot chocolate and watch the telly? Well no, because there was no TV back then. So what else could a man do at that age, at that time? Sit, read books and wait to die? Well, not this guy. No. He decided to, well, he decided to fight for his country, even in his 60s. And that was how he actually died. He was known for throwing himself in front of an artillery gun in order to buy some time for his younger comrades, and it gave them the courage to fight on. Well, if that doesn't deserve a statue, I don't know what does. So, alright. Fair play to Salim. Fair play. Right, now what I need to do is I need to try and navigate this road. Now, why is that worth mentioning? Well, there's a lot of very, very good things in Albania, but one thing they're not known for is their excellent driving skills, I'm told. My barber told me that, so I'm not just being mildly xenophobic when I say that. The barber told me that. He told me that Albanians cannot drive, and so be very careful on the roads. You fine? We're fine, we're all good. Where am I going? I think I go this way. Seems to be a kind of busy day. Well, it seems to be a busy day all the time here. It's a busy, busy place. And people are looking at me as if they've never seen a camera before, so I'm going to put this away just now whilst I walk through the crowds. Just in case. So the crowd wasn't anywhere near as bad as I thought. It looked like a really, really big crowd from a distance, and when I'm in a country I don't know very much about, I know a lot more about some of the other places I've been. Albania is not somewhere I know an awful lot about, I don't think. I'm always a bit iffy with the camera in big crowded areas until I've kind of become comfortable with the place, but you know. I think as well probably the problem is Albania, rightfully or wrongfully, probably wrongfully I think, based on what I've seen so far, Albania has a bit of a reputation, but then so do a lot of places in the east. They have a reputation in the west. The reputation is born out of probably a wee bit of fear on our part, a wee bit of stupidity, maybe even a wee bit of bigotry, you never know. People seem fine here. I know it's the capital city. Capital cities tend to be different. They're more, well, they tend to be safer in the middle and the centre. Although I'm not staying in the centre. Obviously, I'm staying in I'm staying in one of the kind of suburb areas, if that makes sense. I'm staying in the sort of places normal people live. I'm not staying in some fancy hotel. I don't do that when I go to places. I like to live in the sorts of apartments normal people live. I tell you what though, is that a football stadium? Oh, alright. I did mention Albanian drivers. Well, this one's green. Green man, and the guy just kept going. But they did have a big dark carved tinted windows, so I don't know if he's necessarily a lover of the law at the best of times. But maybe that's just a stereotype. Right, let's see if this guy's gonna let me go. Are you? Ah, yeah. Right, what do we have here then? I can see floodlights. Floodlights are always a good thing. Okay, well that does look like a stadium. Looks like it's getting done up as well, so I'm gonna go and round here a wee bit and see if I can find an entry, because it's all gated off and locked up, and but I will not be deterred, no chance. If I see a stadium, I want to see what's inside it. I don't even know what team plays here. Maybe we can find out that information as well, see what team call this place home. As you can probably hear behind me, there's lots of horn tooting going on. That seems to be just a thing in the Balkans in general. They've no patience here on the roads. They've permanent road rage with each other. Oh, that's a good sign, look at that. That's a great sign, aye. Right, well, I'll go around the other side as well, but it looks to me as if that's as good as it's going to get. I'm sure this place is great on a match day. Small stadiums like this tend to be, but it seems very well walled off and caged off. But never mind, you can't win them all, but at least I found it. One of the cool things about Albania and Tirana in general is how it's sort of rapidly developing. There's a lot of places in the Balkans that are rapidly developing, but there's a lot of really interesting street art here and just interesting ideas. As you can sort of see here, this is the Love Tunnel, or Tunnel of Love. I don't know how they worked it. Its translation was a bit iffy. But what they've done here is they've taken this ordinary kind of, well, you can see what it used to look like, not very attractive, and they've just sort of painted over it, and they've wrote their names, those are the people they love, and some of the boxes there. Somebody's taken it upon themselves to sort of, well that's a bit rude. Okay, I'm not going to repeat that. Yeah, making myself banned. Alright, let me show you some of these mentions we've got. Well, you can see who like this guy loves. Or maybe it was a lady that wrote it, you never know. It was a very nice idea. This guy, well, you know, you can't fault him really, can you? One of the things I heard about Albania and Tirana in particular is that you'll find a combination of both communist and fascist architecture. So I thought to myself, right, well, where can I see the best example of that? And apparently it's in Mother Teresa Square, which is where I've just come to. I've just walked past a very important looking government building. I'm not going to stick my camera in because I think they've got some foreign delegates in there, and you know, that might go horribly wrong for me. I already don't speak the language, so trying to talk my way out of trouble would be very difficult. Aye, so here we are, Mother Teresa Square. I don't have very many good things to say about Mother Teresa, if I'm totally honest, so I'll just keep my mouth shut for the time being. Have a look at this place. Right, so let me see if I can try and work out what these buildings actually are then. So the building over there that I'm not going to stick my nose into too much, because it looked like a very important government type building. Place is swarming with security. You see all these guys up there on the steps, so I'm going to try and not draw too much attention to myself, although I'm getting stared at. But you know, they're trying to boost their tourism industry, they need to learn to deal with this stuff. Right, so that looks to me like in there some sort of theatre. That's got to be a theatre, right? Ah, that looks like a theatre. Difficult to tell when that would have been built, because they've obviously re-rendered the outside of it. And they've got the outdoor staging area. Oh, looks very official with a fancy camera. I'll just take my peasant camera elsewhere then, will I? Okay then. In the distance, don't know if you can see that, but we'll get there. The sun is sort of right in my face, which is why whenever I'm on the camera there, I'm scrunching my face up like a muppet. Well, I don't know if I can walk in the grass here, but I'm certainly going to have to see what that is. It just looks like some, I don't know, some very strange looking art pieces, like they're old rusty parts of a machine or something. Generally, if it's an old rusty looking part of a machine sort of art, it's some sort of communist art, but that's just a guess. Oh god, I'm on the grass here and the security are still meant to be very quick here. Ah, okay, I don't really understand what that's supposed to be. Let's just call it commie art, let's just call it that. Communist art's never normally that bad, but I think it's like a modern interpretation of communist art, so let's go with that. Let's get off this grass before I end up getting myself in trouble. Now that building at the end of the road there, I believe, rather fancy looking thing there, I believe that is the Polytechnic University. Now, the Polytechnic University was built under the fascist regime. It was built, I believe, when the Italians occupied the country for a short period of time, and it didn't used to be the university, it used to be the house of fascism, which, you know, is always a nice thing to call somewhere. But it's a nice building. Every cloud is a silver lining. If you're going to get occupied by fascists, you might as well get a nice building or two out of it. But since it is a university, do you know what? Forget it's a university, I'm going to walk up to it. If it was a school, I'd be a bit more iffy about it, but you know, it's a university. We're all adults here. I'm sure they've seen cameras before. See some of the stairs I get up here. This is going to be quite... Thankfully, I'm not easily intimidated, so we should be fine. Unless we're talking about, you know, creepy crawlies and insects and the like, I'm quite easily intimidated by those sorts of things. So that's another very nice building. You can see the place is absolutely full of students. Wonder if I can go inside though, that's the thing. And it should be fine, I'm just a guy with a camera. I'm not exactly an intimidating looking individual, so I don't see why they would have a problem. Ah, there we go, University of Polytechnic, that's the one. There's a security guard outside, he doesn't look too happy with me standing there. Yeah, I'm going to give that a swerve, just to be on the safe side. I don't know whether that, it looked like it was a fairly important delegation getting into that government building across the road there, so I don't know whether they're on high alert today or whatever, but we'll try and find out later on what that is all about. I know what you're thinking, Daniel, what's that big glass and red building there? But I'll get to that one last, because that's the newer building and it's quite interesting actually. I was fascinated when I saw it, especially when you realise what it is. But you just need to keep watching to find that out, won't you? Right, there's a zebra crossing. Use the zebra crossing, Daniel. Don't just walk along the bare road like a madman. Right, can we go? Can we go? I think we can. We run a little bit because some people seem to take zebra crossings seriously here and some people just don't, so. Trying not to stick this camera in people's faces too much. That would make me feel a bit nervous as well if I didn't know what was going on. What do we have here then? Ah, the rec. I'm assuming that means the rectory. Okay, well that's. It's nothing overly exciting on the inside. This is very interesting though, the way they've done this. This is quite, sort of looks a bit like something you'd see in Italy. So whether that was built under the Fascist period as well, we can only guess. Seems to be a popular place for the young guys to be riding their bikes and their skateboards. As you can hear from all the screaming. This building over here I'm interested in. No, I want to go and see what this is. Not this one. I can see this one. I'm not entirely sure what this is. Well, I think it might be a museum now. I think they've turned it into a rectory and a museum. Ah yeah, the Archaeological Museum, which also has security outside it. That's always a good sign. Climb up on that, yep. Well, there wasn't the stairs there if you didn't want to climb it. Maybe it saves me walking all the way around, I don't know. Sheer amount of security over there, that's mad. Oh, again, another massive step. Oh, my leg doesn't really stretch that far. Okay. So we'll go over and get a better look in a wee second, but that, if I'm not mistaken, is one communist piece of architecture. Wow. That is some commie architecture. Communist architecture tends to get a bit of a bad rap. Sometimes I agree. Sometimes it's a wee bit bland and grey and it's all the same size and length. But then you've got other pieces of communist architecture that are actually pretty good. They look like some sort of futuristic space ship. Something you'd see on a different planet if you were watching an 80s movie, you know? Right, I'll cross this road, but there's nobody here. Alright, so there you go. I'm gonna stake my reputation on the line there, the massive reputation I've got, you know, and I'm going to say that that is some Soviet era architecture, and you know what, I've seen a lot worse. Right, well, so we've seen the communist era or Soviet era architecture, whichever terminology you would rather use. And we've seen some fascist architecture. Now I'm going to go and show you some new architecture, and this thing is amazing, in my opinion at least. Quite relevant to some of the stuff I normally look at as well. Normally this is the sort of thing that makes me really giddy on the inside. Don't know why, but whenever I see one of these things, I normally run straight for it. You know, there's nothing that stops me when I see one of these places. But this is one of the more modern ones I've ever seen. Don't know when it was opened, fairly over the last few years anyway. And it sort of follows a trend I've noticed when they build these places, the new ones at least, when they build these new ones, they always build like shopping centres inside them, probably to try and recoup some of the money they've spent on it. Wait till I show you this though. So I'm going to channel my inner Rolf Harris, although not too much, don't worry. I'm not dangerous. But can you tell what it is yet? Can you tell what it is yet? Well, it's the Air Albania Stadium. It's a football stadium. Now, I don't know what this landmine looking thing is here. It's not really a landmine, it looks like one of those mines you put in the sea, doesn't it? So a sea mine? Is that what you can call those things? I have no idea. So apart from this thing here, which I don't really, what is that? What's the purpose of this? Before we continue, what is the purpose of that? Okay, it's an Albanian and it's an Italian, so let me try my best here. Nope, absolutely no idea. Any Italians fancy trying to tell me what that means? Feel free, but I have no idea what that says. There's not even any words in it I recognise. And at the side there we have something that says Italy on it as well. That thing looks as if it could have been put there during the fascist era. It's quite rusted, although I don't know if that was the effect that we're going for. And there's another one there. We'll see what it is before I continue to show you this great stadium here. Cessi Italia, okay. Cessi Italia. Again, I don't know what that says. I really need to brush up on my Italian, but okay, it takes you down some stairs. Never mind. Right, let's have a look at this place. Now, it would obviously look a lot better if it wasn't window cleaning day or whatever it is these guys are up to. But aye, there you go. So they've got restaurants downstairs. You go around the corner, there's actually an entrance to a shopping centre, like I mentioned. They've got the UEFA offices. And I think, oh, there's some more people with a fancy camera. I don't want to walk in front of them, so I'll go this way. I don't know if they're actually recording something just now, so I'll get out of the road. And it annoys me when people do it to me, so I'll try not to do it to other people. If that guy was still drilling for 2 minutes, I might be able to speak. But I think one of the local teams plays here. It's not just the Albanian national team, I think one of the local club teams play here as well. Unless that is of course just the name for the Albanian national team and I'm being really stupid. Could be, it's always possible. Let's have a wee look then. I'm not going to go right in the shop in case they try and get me to buy something. Maybe there's a rule. Oh, you've got very nice. Ah, that's a nice wee strip. I've seen a lot worse. Not bad, not bad. And there he is. You've got the Arena Shopping Centre. Or is that? Ah no, that's Arena Cocktails and Restaurant. So that's just the name of somebody's restaurant. Fair enough. Okay, cool. I don't really want to get in the road of that camera. There's the UEFA office I mentioned as well. Is it possible for me to just go up those stairs and try and have a look in? Am I going to risk it? I think I am. You know, I think I'm going it. What's the worst I can do? Tell me no. Oh dear, I've never heard that before. Right. Oh. Okay, I hear people whistling at me, so I'll just stop in my tracks. Yep. I'm getting told to go away, so I'll go away. Oh god, they've got a drone and everything. I feel alright. I'm just standing here with my wee camera. They've got fancy cameras and drones. So I'm going to walk back over here and then I'm going to move on with my journey, because this area is under a bit of construction. I'll be honest, I've got absolutely no idea what that was. It just looked sort of important and old, so I thought I'd take a video of it. That's why I didn't speak when I was pointing a camera at it. I had what looked like some sort of mathematical equation on it, and if you want to talk about, you know, history, English, believe it or not, I'm actually quite good at English. I just don't like to speak it very often because I sound like a dick. You want to talk about politics even, you know, it's things like geography, that kind of thing, you know. I'm your man, I can have a conversation about that all day long. Maths? Oh no, you better find somebody else to have that conversation with. I am very bad at maths. So, I'm going to go down here and try and find the castle. I don't know how good this castle is, it's not something that they really talk about much, which I find a bit strange. I don't know whether it's maybe some old ruins or whatever, but I'm going to go and I'm going to find out. I'm going to see just how intact it is. I do enjoy a good castle, I must admit. Kosovo is Albania. Well, that's funny because when I was in Serbia, lots of people said that about Serbia as well. It seems just everybody wants a piece of Kosovo. Maybe I need to go to Kosovo. I did initially plan to go to Kosovo, but I was then informed that if you go there, you can have a hard time getting back into some other Balkan countries, especially Serbia. There's lots of countries who don't really recognise Kosovo as an independent state, but if you try and go there, you need to go past border control, obviously, and they give you a stamp on your passport. They give you the stamp on the passport, you then try and go back to Serbia again. They get a wee bit upset, like, why have you got a stamp from Kosovo, as if it's my choice to get the stamp. And sometimes they can get a wee bit, sometimes they can just refuse to let you in, which would be a shame, because Serbia was really, really good when I was there and I would like to go back. I suppose the way the Kosovans view it, they're their own state, they have their own borders, their own stamp on the passport. Why wouldn't they? You know, they see themselves as an independent people, so why wouldn't they? The way the Serbians view it, maybe even the Albanians as well, the way they view it, well, why are you getting a stamp going from one of our regions to the next? It doesn't make a lot of sense. So, I'm going to avoid Kosovo for the time being, just purely because of that. But in the future I might go there. Right now I need to navigate another road. So many roads, so much traffic and so many mental drivers. But you know what, I kind of like it. Not the traffic, just the place in general. Wish me luck here, because this road looks aggressive. Oh well, maybe next time, Mosque. Yep, getting stared at all sorts of ways for holding this camera towards a closed off mosque. Maybe it's not my best idea, but you know. Ah, that is a shame. That would have been nice. And there's a security guard there. I don't know what I'd poke my camera through that hole, but there is a hole. Why is it there if it doesn't want me to look through it? Anyway, double back on ourselves. And we're going to go out and try and find this castle. The more I walk around, the more I realise there's a lot of things between me and this castle. Obviously the Balkans is a bit of a rough history, let's just say. Might be the understatement of the century, but there you go. So the Balkans has had a rough history, and Albania here in particular for large periods of time was very isolated from the rest of Europe. And so there is a lot of construction stuff going on here now, which is good. Long term it's really, really good for the Albanian people. There's lots of, how should I put this? There's lots of work needs done, put it that way. Oh, church bells in the distance, that's always a nice sound. So there's a lot of construction, a lot of work needs done here. There's a lot of development. It's good for the people. It means they don't need to keep leaving. There's lots of Albanian folks living in the UK. There's lots of Albanian folk living in Italy. There's lots of Albanians living in America. Just anywhere else really. The only problem is, for me, the construction means I can't really go and see as much stuff as I'd like to see, and that's a bit of a pain in the hole, if you want me to be honest with you. But, the people come first, right? If I come back, it just gives me more of an excuse to come back in the future as well. And I'll be honest, I'm liking the place so far. I really, really do. It's got a good atmosphere to it, a good feeling to it. I'm feeling really positive here in Albania. It's nothing like what I was expecting. There's nothing like what I was told. Maybe if I go to some of the outers, like I say, I know the capital's a bit different. Maybe if I go to some of the small towns, villages and stuff like that, maybe I'll have a different perspective. But I'm going to try and do that at the end of the week. I'm going to try and travel to a few different places to see what it's actually like in the rural areas. I come from a rural area, so I know that it's very different where I come from what it is in Glasgow, for example. But aye, Albania is not bad so far. I like it. I really like it. I've definitely seen better conditioned castles. Aye, yeah, it's not quite Stirling Castle, is it? But up ahead there, it looks as if some of the walls, the outer walls, are still standing. So let's give that a bash. Wonder why it's in that condition. I wonder why it wasn't preserved. I need to go and try and find out. So they're ready for Halloween at least. Alright, okay, maybe this is good. We've actually got this one in English, perfect. So the fortress is a field fortification. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so the early castle might have been built. Well, that's always handy. During the early Byzantine period, 4th to 6th century AD. Might have been built by Emperor Justinian. Well, okay, might. Tell me why it's not here anymore. I get it, it's old and it was history of Albania, as I've discovered. There seems to be just a lot of rich families own a lot of stuff. Now you could argue that's essentially the way it works everywhere, but in Albania it seems to be very, very prevalent in history. Okay, in 1817, 5-month siege, serious consequences of conquering the castle, trying to settle in peace, 2 times married. Ah, okay, so families that were fighting with each other then married each other. That's always a good way of doing it. Ah, it was demolished in 1832 by the Ottoman armies. He wanted all of the castles demolished, right, okay, so that they couldn't keep rising up against them. Okay, well I suppose that's one way of doing it. I would call that cultural vandalism personally, but then, you know, I'm not the one trying to siege the place. What have they done with the inside? Okay, very nice. Turned it into a sort of shopping space. Restaurants, I think it's a nice mural. Oh well, at least they've done something with it and it's not just a ruin in the middle of a city. That would be kind of, I mean, I would prefer it just to be left a bit of a ruin, but maybe there wasn't much left to leave. So they've decided to make it suitable for people to use. Okay. Well, when it comes to kind of new things like this, I don't really have very much to say on it, I'll be honest. Howdy. Well, there's a plate shop because, you know, I frequently find myself saying, you know what, I need a good plate shop. Good plate shop, aye. A wild thing to see. And then we've got an alcohol shop, that's a bit more, is that, you can get your alcohol, you can get your jam, and you can have yourself a right good time. Lots of serious looking guys in suits here. Not as beautiful as my dancer date that I had in Budva, but she was okay. Look around these restaurants, you can really see the whole Italian influence thing going on. And of course there's a wee dog. Everybody likes a wee dog, don't they? Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I've woke you up still. That dog's not used to cameras. That dog's looking at me more than the people are. Oh, dogs normally don't care, but that dog started staring right through me there. Ooh. Is this just the exit? I think it might be. Okay, well I suppose the Ottomans didn't really leave much else, did they? So they're going to destroy it. They're definitely prepared for Halloween, aren't they? Right, well I guess I'll be going back the way then. Some of the pictures and some of the artwork you see here really is quite fascinating. If my videos in Mosque are anything to go by, then as you know, I do enjoy myself a good partisan. People who are willing to fight against all odds, against a much bigger rival normally. And here's a monument to some of the partisans who did just that in World War II. Well, that's a very good, it's very good. After I saw that partisan cemetery, I think that was me sold on the whole idea of partisans. Started doing a lot of research into them and I realised that these are, you know, not perfect individuals by any means, nobody is. But good guys, if there is such a thing in the world, normally. So there's a fitting tribute to the partisans. Also, I noticed this, what looks like a Turkish market. I do enjoy a Turkish market. That's not, oh, here, hi. No, I can't. Okay, I've got lunch plans. But oh, I gotta love a kebab. Let's go and see what they've got though. Just out of curiosity, what kind of stuff are they selling? You can buy your clothes, probably won't. You can buy all your interesting. Okay, there's one thing the Turks do very well, it's their food. not just kebab meat, but they've got, you know, all the different sweet options and stuff like that. Some of it's just fantastic. And we've got a monument here. Who is that? Who's the monument? I'm not allowed to go in to have a closer look, so I'll just have to stand here and do it. I'm not entirely sure who that is. I've got my suspicions, but I'll double check that first. So I think somebody, just as I turned my camera off there, somebody must have saw the confused look on my face, and so they decided to tell me that it was Kaplan Pashas. And they also told me that is where he's buried, right next to that very nice modern new hotel that the van's just decided to block. So we'll go over and have a look at it, since Mr. Van Man has no appreciation for the finer arts of video making. Okay then, another busy road. Oh, that's quite quiet. Oh good, good, the road's quiet for it. Okay. Kaplan Monument. Yeah, that's the one. Yep. Very nice. And it's next to this very strange looking, well, like I say, it's kind of modern hotel. It's looks like quite a fancy hotel. It's like black, and then just this one particular part that arches over it is gold, and so it looks as if it's lit up, but it isn't lit up. Very nice. Okay, well, so now that I've done that, I'm going to go and I'm going to try and find this friendship memorial, a friendship monument. So I heard the call to prayer earlier on when I was walking over here, so I don't know if that means the mosque's going to be really busy. I don't really like going in whenever it's praying. It always feels a wee bit rude. I know they don't mind sometimes, you know, as long as you take your shoes off, they tend to be pretty cool about it. At least in my experience, they tend to be pretty cool about it. But I hope it's not too busy. I don't like pointing my camera in people's faces when I'm trying to pray. Right, moment of truth time. Moment of truth. Oh, that wee baby. Oh, it's mom. That's a cute wee baby. Oh, what have we got here? We've got a hadith piece. Oh, it's mobbed. Jeez, oh, I think I'm going to have to give this a swerve just now. Maybe stay outside. What's this from the hadith we've got here? We've got charity does nothing but enriches you. Oh, that's nice. Well, it looks as if everybody's leaving, so maybe if I take a wee minute here, to try and show you some of the... That's a nice mosque, some really fine artwork there. So there's a lot of effort in, and even the plant pots have got some carvings on them. That's always a good sign. Always impresses me how much time and people dedicate to their religion, you know. not my sort of thing, obviously, but it's admirable nonetheless. As long as they're using it for good, and in my experience, most people do. So that applies to every faith, really. It's not just Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Sikhs are notoriously great people. Hindus are pretty cool as well. Now I'm getting some stares. I don't want to have my camera in everybody's face. Maybe I'll put it away for a wee moment and I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go around the side and have a look. Well, whilst we're here then, whilst we're maybe waiting for that to clear up a wee bit, we can have a look at this nice clock tower. Now the view of it is obviously a bit ruined by the construction going on in the background, just a little bit, but like I said, the place needs a lot of fixing after years in isolation, so you can't blame them. It needs to be done. Oh, is there a hole in that door? Right, let's see where it's a tiny wee door. That's the sort of thing even I would need to crouch down to get in. Right, let's see if we can see anything. If something, see if I see a face. No, I can't see anything. Right, good. Because if a pair of eyes started looking back at me, I might have actually shit myself there. So I'm unsure whether to put my camera away, go in the mosque, then take the camera out inside the mosque. Is that, am I allowed to do that? Is that going to get me into, is that going to upset people? I don't know. You know what, I'm going to put the camera away for a minute. I'm going to go and see if that's possible. If not, then I'll be back with you. You'll just need to see, look at my ugly face instead. Before I do though, I just noticed at the side of the clock tower there's actually a wee plaque that tells you when it was built and stuff like that, and again it's in English, which is good. Started building the clock tower in 1822. Wow, okay. At first the tower was 30 metres high and the clock had a fixed mechanism and a brass bell. Okay, and they built a balcony on it. In World War II it was damaged, but it was restored in 1946, and until 1970 the tower was the highest building in the capital city. Okay, cool. Well, that is quite interesting. I wasn't expecting to see that wee plaque there. I totally missed that the first time I walked over. Used to have wooden stairs, now it's got metallic ones. It's a symbol of the municipality of Tirana, and together with the mosque there, it represents a unique architectural assembly funded. Yeah, okay, cool, interesting. Okay, so I decided to go into just the first bit there. I didn't want to go right in. I would have tried it, but then I kind of realised I've got a tattoo in my arm, and I think tattoos are haram, if I'm not mistaken. So, although having said that, I've got some Muslim mates who have got tattoos, but they're Shia Muslims, and I don't know if that's a Shia or a Sunni mosque. So I thought probably a better idea not to chance it. People seemed friendly enough. People just gave me a couple of looks, you know. Probably don't see very many tourists with their cameras in there, but they let me take a few videos and whatever else, and I just sort of left before I outstayed my welcome a wee bit. They were nice enough though, so maybe it wouldn't have been a problem. I just didn't want to upset anybody. But here's the next thing I've come to see. That there is one of the notorious bunkers built by Enver Hoxha, the maddest of madmen. Presumably there, that's like Don't know if that's just a replica or whether it's a real one. They've just put an art sign on. It's difficult to tell. Looks quite real, I suppose. But that's one of Enver Hoxha's bunkers, and they've turned that, as you can see there, into a museum. Now, I'm not going to go into the museum because if I was to spend money to go into every museum that I saw in these places, I would not have any money left. So I'm just going to give you a wee look at what they've done with the inside of this bit, just at the entrance. I'm going to assume that's the faces of the people who were victim to Enver Hoxha's purges. I'm going to go down here a wee bit. We're going to go down here, but we're not going to go in because, like I said, I don't have the money to go into every museum I'd like to go to, so I try and stay away from museums unless they've got cool entrances like this that I can actually talk about a little bit. But, this is very interesting. This is a very nice kind of idea they've got here. I think I'm quite like that. But anyway, I'm going to get out here for folk wonder what I'm up to. Right, so there you go, there's one of the bunkers. I'm going to go and try and find an authentic one that hasn't been turned into a museum yet. I'll see if I can try and find something like that on my travels here. But also, I don't know if you can see it behind me there, also got a really interesting red building there. Now I think that building might have been built during fascist times. I think I read somewhere that was built when the Italians came as well. It did, however, serve, I believe, as the embassy or the residence of the President of Poland. It was either the embassy of Poland at one point, or it was the residence of the Polish president when he came visiting, or something like that. Obviously today it's not that, it's got a big Albania flag outside. There you go, some more interesting architecture. Rather than knocking it down, rather than, you know, getting rid of it, they've just given it a paint job, made it look really nice, I think, at least. I think it looks very, very good. There's a security guard outside it as well, so I'm assuming it's still used for some sort of government business, but there you go. Well, it's getting to that stage in the day where I'm starting to get a wee bit hungry, and as I explained before in a previous video, when I start to get hungry I've got about 1, maybe 2 hours at most before I just turn into a fairly unpleasant person. So I'm going to go and look at one more weird piece of architecture, something at the bottom of this street here, and then I'm going to go and grab myself some food, and then I'll continue with what I'm doing here. But have you ever seen anything like this before? I don't think I've ever seen anything that looks like this before. The trick is actually getting to it, because I'm assuming cutting across the grass there is probably frowned upon. Now, to say that to say it's unique would be, again, a slight understatement on my part, but let's go and find out what it's all about. Hopefully it's got a plaque on it, can tell me exactly what's going on there. Tell you, it's another beautiful day here in Albania. I love the weather here, even when you're basically in the winter time, you're still getting 22, 23, 24s sometimes. It's good. I mean, I'm the only person I've seen wearing shorts, to be honest. So I stand out like a sore thumb as a tourist. Aye, have you ever seen anything that looks like that? That is the question. That is the question. Right,
Okay, good, we've got a path here, that's always nice. Let's take it. Okay. Must be oh, there's an entrance, you can actually walk inside it, right? Cool, that's why the people are in there. I was wondering how they managed that. I thought maybe they'd climb through it, but looks like there's actually glass panels on it so you can climb up part of it. We'll do that in a minute. Hello, how are you?
Fine. Where do you come from?
I come from Scotland.
Oh, very nice. You know me.
Hmm?
You don't...
No, I'm videoing the thing, don't worry. Yeah, videoing the...
From Scotland, which city?
Near Glasgow. Near Glasgow, yeah. Small town near Glasgow.
Beautiful. For some couple days?
Yeah, 1 week. I'm here for 1 week.
Yeah, fancy. After this, if you like, we can walk a little bit.
Okay, maybe. I'm going to go for food though. But okay. Okay, guy wants to walk with me. I don't know about that. That seems a bit iffy, but he doesn't want me to record him, but he wants to walk with me. I'm not sure about that. Interesting. Tour guide. Okay, I have absolutely no idea what this is. It's a bit of architecture. Let's see if we can climb it. Can we climb it? I don't know how to get away from this guy, I'll be honest with you. He seems very friendly, but I don't think he seems 100%. Or maybe I'm just not used to people being that friendly to me. I don't know. Oh, right, okay. Oh, good. There's arrows. Oh, okay, so you can climb up a wee bit. Maybe it's designed for pictures or stuff. But I have absolutely no idea what this is supposed to be. Why is it here? What's the purpose of this contraption? I could not tell you. I don't know, but the guy's standing there waiting on me. That's a bit unnerving. That's a good view from up here. A good view. Okay, now I'm going to have to use all of my people skills to get away from this dude. Wish me luck. Trick is getting back down from here as well. Oh, right. Pick a stair, pick a stair, pick a stair. Pick a stair. I'm going to go for my lunch now. Yeah. So I'll see you later. No, I'm going to my lunch. I'm going to eat food. I'll come back later on, okay? Thank you. Bye. Oh, well, that feels a wee bit rude. I don't know whether he was trying to be my tour guide. I don't know what his script was, but I don't need a tour guide. I'm fairly well clued up on what I'm doing. Anyway, that's whenever a past doing sales work comes in mighty handy, because sometimes you need to be a wee bit crude with people, just cut them off, you know. I feel bad, I feel rude, but I don't need a tour guide, and I don't even know if that's what he was looking for. He seemed a bit, well, I don't know if he was the full shilling, so to speak. But anyway, right, like I said, I need to go and grab myself some scran here before I become a bit of an arsehole.